today. It's the U.S. versus a combined team from Great Britain and Canada. The U.S. team is a number of newly crowned national champions, including Michael Grogan, who 2 weeks ago won his 4th consecutive American title with this fierce knockout. Today's competition promises a good look at some top Olympic hopefuls. The mountains of Reno, Nevada offer a tranquil backdrop to the frenetic around-the-clock activity that characterizes this gambling town. And today, Olympic boxing prospects from 3 countries have gathered for this international boxing meet at the brand new Lawler Event Center on the campus of the University of Nevada, Reno. We have an enthusiastic boxing crowd on hand today. They certainly love their boxing here in Reno, Nevada. Hello again, everybody. I'm Don Chevrier. Welcome to Reno for a unique dual boxing meet. The United States with 5 newly crowned national champions showing the way against a combined team from Great Britain and Canada. And that team features 2 reigning world amateur champions, light middleweight Shawn O'Sullivan, heavyweight Willie DeWhitt. As the Olympics draw closer in Los Angeles next year, an important test for boxers of both these teams. And here is Ronnie, just 19 years of age, the 81 National Golden Gloves champion from Albuquerque, New Mexico, preparing for the second round against John Hyland, representing Great Britain from Liverpool, England. In the first round, Ronnie, who's a real slugger, a battler, took it to John Hyland and enjoyed a slight advantage. But Hyland has been more than willing to mix it with Ronnie. The referee, Tillman, wants something cleared away in Rent's corner and now sends them out for round 2. Tillman is from Canada. Good early second round action. Ronnie throws to right, missing with a second right. The United States already with a 2-0 lead. Israel Acosta and Steve McCrory winning decisions against fighters from Great Britain at 106 and 112 pounds. 21-year-old John Hyland has been boxing 10 years. He's the reigning British amateur champion and the Commonwealth Games champion. Rent's bouncing back from a heartbreaking loss to Jesse Benavides 2 weeks ago in the U.S. Nationals. He lost to Jesse on points in a very close bout. We saw that day how eager Ronnie is to mix it. An exciting young man in the ring. Remember, just 19 years of age. At 5'4", however, he gives away 3.5 inches to John Hyland. He's a southpaw. These are bantamweights at 119 pounds, 3 3-minute rounds in amateur boxing. The referee Tillman will have no vote. 3 ringside judges, 1 from each country, and a neutral judge will decide the outcome if this does go the 3-round distance. Right now, they appear very evenly matched into round 2. Ronnie now coming out with some good scoring blows. The combinations start to work for him. And a caution from the referee to Hyland for dipping his shoulder down as Rentz whips a right into his face again. Blood showing from the nose of John Hyland that appeared in the first round and continues into the second, midway through now. Ronnie completed his high school education last year. John Hyland, who's a little bit older, is a butcher in Liverpool, England. Constantly, Rent's backing Hyland around this ring in Reno. Getting a good jab off, following with the right. More good scoring blows, more blood on the face of John Hyland now. And Ronnie has a loose shoelace that referee Tillman will take care of. You heard him say box. The 3 basic commands are box, stop, and break, the international language of amateur boxing. And the assault continues. Ronnie getting a wider lead in the second round. A slight edge in the first, but opening things up at the expense of Britain's John Hyland. Hitting him hard and hitting him frequently. It may have taken Ronnie a part of that first round to solve the southpaw style of Hyland, but he has mastered that style now. No problem to him. 25 seconds to go in the second round. The United States favored today against the combined team from Great Britain and Canada. Not much known about some of these Great Britain boxers, many making their first international appearance. Less than 10 seconds to go in a good second round. The 119-pound bantamweight class. And there's a standing 8 count late in the round. That's the referee's discretion that blow hard enough to cause a standing 8 count. And a good right and a left at the bell by Ronnie Rentz of the United States. The bantamweights at 119 pounds, Ronnie Rentz and John Hyland coming out for the third round. Two good rounds for Ronnie Rentz. The second in particular, he chased Hyland all around the ring. The United States already leads 2-0 in this dual meet. Victories by Israel Acosta and Steve McCrory in the lighter weight categories, both by decision. Hyland, who wore the headgear, which is optional for British fighters in the first 2 rounds, has taken it off here in the third. And Ronnie Rentz continues to go headhunting after Hyland. Hyland's game, though, he has stayed right with Rentz toe-to-toe, but Ronnie again succeeds in backing him up around the ring. That was the pattern, certainly, in the first 2 rounds. Oh, a good chopping right hand thrown, and that will bring about another 8 count for the referee, Tillman of Canada. Late in round 2, Tillman called an 8 count on Hyland. This is second of the bout. 3-in-1 round will end the bout in amateur boxing. In close, Ronnie Rentz very quick with those hands, as you can plainly see. Hand speed, certainly the big factor for Rentz. Blood again, appearing on the face of John Hyland from Liverpool, England, into this third round. Blood, too, in the face of Ronnie Rentz of the United States from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Look at the hand speed of Rentz. There will be another count of 8 handed out to John Hyland. The third of the bout and the second of this third round. And Tillman has had enough. He's seen enough. It sends John Hyland back to his corner to end this bout. Ronnie Rentz all over him, gaining momentum in the second round and really taking it to Hyland here in the third. And the referee stops the contest. There was the first standing 8 count ordered by the referee Tillman in this third round. A good stiff right by Ronnie Rentz. Remember, the 8 counts at the discretion of the referee under amateur boxing rules. And this finally stopped it shortly after a second 8 count. With Hyland still coming on, he walked into punches, was left wide open, and that was it. As Rentz wins it, the referee stops the contest, 122. Ronnie, you really opened up on him. It's a pretty good win for you.
Yes, well, my coach told me the last round, have to go all out and stop him in the third, or beat him big, so I went out there, tried to stop him, and I did.
That's got to be nice for you, having that disappointment of not winning the U.S. Nationals now, get this international victory in your belt.
Yes, I'm going to be working a lot harder up until the trials and hopefully make it to the 1984 Olympics.
That's a good win for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ronnie Rentz gives the United States a 3-0 lead. 3-0. These are the featherweights. Colin Lynch from Coventry, England. His opponent, the newly crowned U.S. amateur champion in this weight bracket, Andrew Minsker of Milwaukee, Oregon. Minsker, certainly impressive in the U.S. Nationals just 2 weeks ago. I talked to him before the bout today. Andrew, what do you know about this man you're meeting today?
No, absolutely nothing. I know he's from England. That's all I know his name. That's all I've heard, or I don't really know anything about him.
Not aware of the style the English fighters like to use?
No, I'm aware of the style. I fought my very first international match in England when I was 17, and they're pretty much straight-up stand-up fighters, coming straight at you, not too much lateral movement. I don't think I have much problem.
So they are ready for 3 rounds in the featherweight division. Raleigh Schwartz is the man in the middle, the referee from the United States. Minsker and Lynch. Lynch, winner of the bronze medal of the British Championships this year. And he was talking to Andrew Minsker, and Schwartz cautions him against that. The fighters can't talk to each other, and the corners can't talk to the fighters during a bout under these amateur rules. Minsker defeated Victor Levine in the U.S. Nationals. He's a former Golden Gloves champion and lost to the North American Championships, the final, to a tough Cuban named Soleil. Andrew Minsker, at 21, considered a good prospect for the United States Olympic team. Coming off his national victory, and he backs the English fighter against the ropes as Lynch had to hold on. The Americans very aggressive early on in the action against the Great British and Canadian team. We have not seen the Canadians yet, but the United States has dominated Great Britain so far in this dual boxing meet. Minsker dominating Colin Lynch in the featherweight bout. A quick jab coming out. Overall hand speed, as we mentioned before, one of the big attributes of the Americans, it seems, in this dual meet. Very quick off the mark. Beating the English to the punch. Lynch is 22, Minsker is 21. Born in Portland, now lives in Milwaukee, Oregon. Boxing since he was 10 years of age. As he told us, he has international experience against England 4 years ago, and he was just 17. Midway in this round, Minsker dominating Colin Lynch. In close, very, very tough on Lynch. Changing his leads, and again getting there first. Combination after combination fired off by Andrew Minsker. The British fighter unable to get almost a single blow away. Totally on the defense now as he hangs out of the ropes again. Schwartz sending Minsker back to his corner. Having a close look at Colin Lynch on the left. Giving him the full count of 8. Gets to his feet, and Ronnie Schwartz, the British corner, wants him to adjust his mouthpiece. Make sure it's all right to send him back into action. Remember, 3 standing 8 counts or knockdowns in 1 round will end the bout. And Minsker moving in for a second standing count or knockdown at the expense of Colin Lynch here. That time, Ronnie Schwartz stops the action for good, sending Lynch back to his corner. So another victory for the United States. They're 4 in a row against boxers from Great Britain as Andrew Minsker wins the featherweight bout, the time 2:15 of the very first round. The first knockdown happened this way, with Lynch constantly in retreat. The right throw, he turned sideways, and as he backed toward the ropes, took a stiff left hand from Andrew Minsker. Then Ronnie Schwartz, the referee, watching Lynch very, very closely, sees him take more punishment. The right, the left from Andrew Minsker. The uppercut jamming up all over the British fighter, and Schwartz finally stopped the bout. Minsker, the winner in the featherweight class. Looks like you feel pretty good about that, Andrew.
Oh, yeah, I do. Believe me. I lost my last international fight, so we can try to make up for this one.
You really took it to him, and as a result, it's a confidence booster for you.
Yeah. Well, at first, when he jabbed, at first he was a little bit slower than I had expected, and when he jabbed, he come back with his left hand low, so I just started using the right hand leads, and that's what slowed him up and got him. A couple body punches got him. I heard him groan in there, but otherwise, this thing worked out good.
You're about a mile and a half off the ground right now, aren't you?
Oh man, I'm telling you, it's been a week down here. Hopefully they'll show it on TV. All my family get to see it and looking forward to it. So.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Minsker gives the United States a 4-0 lead. 132 pounds. Alex Dickson representing Great Britain from Glasgow, Scotland. Joy Belinc of the United States. Dickson is the reigning Scottish amateur champion and the Commonwealth boxing champion in this lightweight class. Belinc is from Marysville, Washington, a 19-year-old. Lost to Clifford Gray in the finals of the U.S. Amateur Championships in this weight class. Lost the National Sports Festival to Pernell Whitaker. Gray and Whitaker, 2 of the top United States Olympic prospects here in the lightweight division. Round 1 is underway. The referee is Brian Pollard from Great Britain. The United States with an overwhelming 4-0 lead over Great Britain and Canada. Ronnie Rentz and Andrew Minsker stopping their opponents. Steve McCrory and Israel Acosta winning their bouts by decision. The amazing thing about the American team today, they've been so aggressive they haven't really taken much time to measure their opponent. That's the same story for Joy Belinc here as he lunges out at Alex Dickson. He's a mechanical engineer back in Glasgow, Scotland. Caution for holding against the fighter from Great Britain, Dickson. While the British have had experience in Commonwealth competitions and, of course, at home, not all that many have faced American boxers, so they're encountering a style difference and certainly a difference in aggressiveness as the Americans have taken it to them through 4 bouts so far today. Belinc pounding away at the body of Dickson. Rapid fire delivery by Joy Belinc. He really hasn't hurt Dickson so far. Belinc has been the dominant man in the ring in the early seconds of this, the first round. Scheduled for 3, the lightweight bout, the U.S. versus Great Britain-Canada dual boxing meet here in Reno, Nevada. Midway in the first round now. bouts mean so much to fighters of all three countries, with the Olympic Games coming up next summer in Los Angeles, California, all vying for spots on their national team. A caution again against Dickson from Pollard, the referee. Southpaw Dickson trying to confuse Joey Belinc, lunging out with a jab, trying to follow with his good left hand, and a low head. Caution against Dickson again from the referee as Belinc charges after him. That's a good left by Dickson, his best of the bout so far. But here comes Belinc again. Rapid-fire combinations. The jab scored twice from Dickson following that, however. Joey much the busier of the two as we're getting late in round one. A looping left hand sends Alex Dickson down. Rolling on the canvas here in Reno. Belinc had scored previously, but hadn't really hurt Dickson until then. Now opens up like a windmill going after him. Pollard steps in as Dickson's down for a second time. 20 seconds to go in the first round. A happy Joey Belinc looking in as the referee Pollard takes Dickson back to his corner, and that will be it. Joey Belinc, the winner in the lightweight division at 2:40 of round number one. And very late in that round, he took it to him. Opening up in the corner with the fighter from Glasgow trapped in there, and down he went. Pollard finally stopping the bout. Belinc the winner for the USA. Joey, when you put him down the first time, you really sensed victory then. You went after him like a windmill.
Yeah, I sensed it. I hurt him bad because he had a little trouble getting up. I seen it in his eyes, and when I came at him, I flinched at him, and I let him have it. And there was nothing from then on.
You just destroyed a two-time Scottish champion, so in terms of Olympic prospects for you, it's got to be a confidence builder.
Oh yeah, I feel I'm the man. I feel I can do it, and I'll do my best, and I'll work hard to do it too.
All right, good luck to you, Joe.
Thanks a lot.
So the American boxers on a real roll here in Reno. They lead Great Britain and Canada 5-0. In the light welterweight bout, Zachary Padilla with a unanimous 3-0 decision over again David Griffiths, representing Great Britain from Wales, a 6-time Welsh champion. He hung in there with Zachary for 2 rounds. In the third, took a standing 8 count, and then finally was knocked down by a stunning right hook thrown by Zachary Padilla, the U.S. with a 6-0 lead. Alton Rice getting ready for the second round of the welterweight bout against Wayne Gordon of Canada. Rice, a diminutive battler from Washington, D.C. Gordon from Sackville, Nova Scotia, is the son of the coach of the Canadian national team and had a good first round at the expense of Alton Rice. Gordon, with a 4-inch height advantage and corresponding reach advantage, made it pay off for him in round one. The referee is Bert Lowe's from Vancouver, Canada. The referee you may recall who got in the way of a punch at the North American Championships a year ago and got knocked cold in Las Vegas. Lowe's, the veteran Olympic referee, has been around for years. Alton Rice was pressed into service late because Mark Breland, scheduled to fight Gordon at this weight class, decided to rest his hand after the U.S. Championships, a sore right hand coming from all the bouts that Breland fought to win that title in Colorado Springs. Wayne Gordon was psyched for Breland. Now is taking it out on little Alton Rice. Rice has bronze medals in the U.S. Amateur and Golden Gloves this year, losing to Mark Breland on points in the Nationals. Also lost to Lewis Howard, another good welterweight, in the Golden Gloves to get third place. But here he's got his hands full with Wayne Gordon, reigning Canadian champion, and the runner-up of the North American Championships to Ronnie of the United States. Referee cautioning Alton Rice about a low head. He really hasn't got much choice against a man 4 inches taller. Good combination by Gordon. Down goes Alton Rice. 3 snapping blows sending Rice to the canvas here in the second round. Gordon lunging at Rice, stunned him. Lowe sends him back into action. Gordon comes after him again. The referee costing Rice for holding. Right now he's trying to hold on and clear the cobwebs. Beckley Gately to the right, sends him down again. The second knockdown of the round scored by Wayne Gordon of Canada. And referee Lowe signals no more as he will attend to the fallen Alton Rice. Wayne Gordon at 153 of round 2 has won the welterweight bout for the combined Great Britain-Canada team. The first victory of this dual boxing meet. The United States had a 6-0 lead until this stoppage of Alton Rice by Wayne Gordon. 2 knockdowns, and they came very suddenly in round number 2. The looping right, then the left. A third blow with the right hand of Gordon, and down went Rice for the first time. Barely on his feet. The referee Lowe's watching very carefully to see if Rice was all right. Gordon was all over him again. Teeing off on little Alton Rice, that right hand set him down for the second and last time. So Great Britain on the scoreboard with Canada for the first time. The U.S. leads 6-1 now. Most respected amateur boxers in the world today. Shawn O'Sullivan from Toronto, Canada, the reigning world light middleweight amateur champion. And O'Sullivan won that title here in Reno earlier in the year against Alexander Koshkin of the Soviet Union. Koshkin had decked O'Sullivan in the second round. A game O'Sullivan came out in the third was all over the Soviet. He won the championship right here in Reno, Nevada. I talked to Shawn before today's bout.
I know the Olympics is such a serious dedication on your part, the plan to award it, that you've given up for at least a year your studies at the University of Toronto just to concentrate on boxing, haven't you?
We had to, Don. It was just too much to try and train and travel and study at the same time. We had forecasted our competitive schedule a number of months ago, starting in September, and we had seen that we were going to be out of town or out of the country at least once a month starting in September until about May, and it was at that time that we decided that the university would just have to take a backseat to the boxing career now for this 1 year. There's just too much at stake, and as at the age I'm at now, my competitive or my athletic years will never return. But the University of Toronto will always be there, so we can go back to that. But I feel right now that the only thing I can do now is, or feel I want to do right now is the amateur athletics, and the Olympic Games is for me the important thing right now.
And here he is, Shawn O'Sullivan, a popular figure right here in Reno with that crushing victory of Koshkin to win the World Championship earlier this year. He will oppose Michael Cross of the United States. Cross, a quarterfinalist in the recent Nationals in Colorado Springs. He said that he was not the least bit intimidated by the presence of Shawn O'Sullivan. Indicated he would open it up very early and take the action right to Shawn. Of course, O'Sullivan renowned as an exciting brawler in the light middleweight division. Certainly one of the top Olympic prospects in the world, reigning world amateur champion. So we have Cross with limited experience internationally against a real good one from Canada. Referee is Raleigh Schwartz of the United States. Indeed, Michael is taking it to Shawn O'Sullivan very early. O'Sullivan says he can brawl or he can box. It all depends on how the bout tends to go. And we've got some equipment problems with Michael Cross as Schwartz takes him back to the American corner. Michael, just 20 years of age, 5'11", has a 1-inch height advantage over Shawn O'Sullivan. He's been boxing 8 years now, since he was 12. O'Sullivan's only been competing 5.5 years, but in that space of time, claimed the World Cup championship as he first onto the amateur scene in Montreal in 1981, and has been virtually unstoppable ever since. This combined Canada-Great Britain team with just one victory so far, that's scored by Wayne Gordon over Alton Rice. The United States has a 6-1 lead here. And if Cross could beat O'Sullivan, that would clinch the victory in this 12-bout dual boxing meet. But O'Sullivan starts to get to Cross now. First to the body, then the uppercut. Into the hand, and down he goes. A sudden right hand thrown by Shawn O'Sullivan. That will be all. A very impressive knockout scored by Shawn O'Sullivan of Canada. He destroyed young Michael Cross of the United States. And it came very suddenly as they examined Michael to make sure that he's all right. Looks like he is in the American corner. Cross decided to open things up against O'Sullivan and might have paid the price for that. Shawn, coming in with the right hand, the uppercut did much of the damage, and then as Michael Cross tried to back across the ring, took that strong right hand from Shawn, down he went. It was all over at 118 of round number 1. One more look now at the devastating right hand thrown by Shawn O'Sullivan of Canada. O'Sullivan reinforcing his credentials as world amateur champion. Shawn, he decided to go wide open against you early, and you made him pay for it.
He was a very good competitor and very game and doing a lot of very good stuff. It was just something that the timing was right and the right hand landed properly, and I was fortunate to have that happen.
How'd you feel about your timing, the way you were getting punches off today?
They were working well. I was blocking and working off of his left hand. As I mentioned, I can box, and it was just working off his left hand was working well.
You also can win, as you do most of the time.
Oh, I like to win better than lose, but I just do my best, that's all.
All right, good luck to you, Shawn.
Thank you, Don.
So back-to-back victories by the Canadians make it 6-2 for the United States. Michael Grogan, 4-time U.S. amateur middleweight champion, just won his 4th title a couple of weeks ago in Colorado Springs at the expense of Darryl Stubblefield. Against Tyrone Forbes, the reigning British amateur champion in his weight class, the man making his international debut today. In the first round, on came Michael Grogan with devastating power. The southpaw finally got the left hand to work for him. He sent Forbes reeling into a somersault across the ring here in Reno. So a big edge for Michael Grogan in round number 1 as we prepare now for the second round, scheduled for 3, the middleweight bout in Reno. Out they come. Brian Pollard from Great Britain is the referee. The United States leading this combined team from Canada and Great Britain 6 bouts to 2. Grogan looking for the clincher here at the expense of Tyrone Forbes. Looked like the southpaw style of Michael Grogan confused Forbes through much of that first round. For Michael Grogan, it could be last call for the Olympic Games at 26. It seems as though he's been around forever and likely to be around for the 88 Games. So this could be the big opportunity for Michael Grogan, the florist from Atlanta, Georgia. Very engaging young man who has a menacing left hand when he lets it fly, as Forbes found out in the first round. Forbes extremely wary of Grogan, and perhaps he might be just that after what happened to him in round 1. Giving Michael plenty of space, but the long arms of Grogan go lunging after Tyrone. Bangs away to the body. Forbes felt that. Then he goes to the head. Just missed there with a powerful left hand. Stop! Stop! Great. Books. Forbes' best defense appears to be an attempt to keep his head moving away from the blows of Michael Grogan. But he has been in constant retreat since that knockdown in the first round. We're past the midway mark of the second round now. If it does go the distance, 3 ringside judges and not the referee will decide the outcome. But the lack of experience internationally on the part of Forbes showing up more and more in the second round. Grogan's got an 1.5 inch height advantage over Forbes. Much greater hand speed, much more power when he does flick those hands out, especially his good left. Forbes really hasn't done very much except attempt to ward Grogan off in this round as he jams 2 lefts into him. Parks the right jab just beside the head of Forbes. Measuring him very patiently. Grogan appears to be in no hurry to get it over with. He knows he has his man on the run. Getting a little careless there with a looping left hand that missed as Grogan changes the lead on Forbes. Less than 30 seconds to go in the second round. Forbes apparently outclassed, this young man is, from London, England, by Michael Grogan from Atlanta, Georgia. Just the second boxer in history to win 4 consecutive national championships. And the first since virtually the turn of this century. Now Pollard wants to tuck in a loose lace on the glove of Tyrone Forbes. Just 6 seconds to go in the second round. So it looks like Forbes indeed will survive the second after being knocked down here in the first. And he does. Michael Grogan with a good lead in this bout against Forbes, the middleweight match here in Reno. Grogan not as impressive in the second round as he was in the first when he knocked his man down. Nonetheless, he dominated Forbes throughout round 2. He's got a sizable lead, I would imagine, at this stage because Forbes hasn't really done very much. He stung him, but he couldn't take him down a second time. Tied him up along the ropes, scored blow after blow. The left hand, the big weapon of Michael Grogan.
Try to catch him. You need to get rid of
Michael Grogan of Atlanta, Georgia, getting ready for the third round against Tyrone Forbes of London, England. The young man having a very rough international debut at the hands of Grogan from Atlanta, Georgia. A knockdown in the first round and the domination by Grogan in the second round as we're ready now for round number 3. The middleweights are in the center of the ring. Forbes didn't land many blows in round 2, but has decided to take the action of Grogan early. He was entirely on the defense throughout the second round. 4-time national champion Michael Grogan of the United States. Forbes, a 23-year-old, gives away an 1.5 inch advantage in height to Grogan. And a world of experience. Grogan's southpaw style has been tough for Forbes to handle. The United States, with a 6-2 lead in this dual boxing meet against Great Britain and Canada, can clinch the victory if Grogan can defeat Forbes, as it looks as though he will. He's clearly outpointed him so far. He knocked him down in the first round, but failed to take him off his feet in the second round. Wild punches being thrown by Michael Grogan as he goes headhunting now on Tyrone Forbes. Referee Brian Pollard from Great Britain, caution for holding. Grogan with the right hand, waiting to use the left, just came up short there. Tagged him a second time with the looping right hand. Low head caution against Michael Grogan from the referee. We're into round 3, the middleweights in Reno, the dual boxing meet the U.S., Great Britain and Canada. Down goes Forbes. Smashing left hook thrown by Michael Grogan sends him to the canvas here in round number 3. His second knockdown of the bout. The first came back in round 1. And Forbes will continue, the referee watching him very carefully now. Trying to hold on to buy some time. Grogan brings the sharp right up to the head as Forbes grabs him another time. Forbes very wobbly now, keeps on coming. Tries to move around the ring to give himself some distance. There's the good jab by Grogan with the right. He tries to set the left up, just missed with it. Countered with the second left. Past the midway point of round number 3.
Hooks.
Jamming that left into the body of Tyrone Forbes, the 23-year-old newcomer to international boxing from London, England. Good left. All right by Grogan. He's groggy. Here's another count of 8. A standing count for the referee, Pollard. Forbes in all kinds of trouble against Michael Grogan, but Pollard lets them continue. Looping right misses. Here's the towel from the British corner. They have tossed in the towel wisely, allowing Tyrone Forbes to exit this match. Winner by retirement, 151, round 3 is Michael Grogan of the United States. And that clinches this dual victory for the United States. In this third round, as a lunging Tyrone Forbes couldn't get to Grogan, he then, on the inside, paid the price. Down he went here in round number 3. He was knocked down earlier in the first round. United States with an unbeatable 7-2 lead, and the heavier weight categories coming right up. Rickey Womack getting ready for the light heavyweight bout against Ken Johnson from Winnipeg, Canada. Womack, a 2-time U.S. amateur champion in 2 different weight categories, light heavyweight and heavyweight. Johnson doesn't have much international experience, not compared to Rickey Womack, certainly. Johnson fights out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, did get a bronze medal at the Commonwealth Championships in 1981. But Womack, the 2-time U.S. amateur champion, the tough cookie who likes to brawl. I talked to Rickey before today's bout.
What do you do with a man that you don't know very much about, Ken Johnson, the man from Canada you're fighting today? How do you approach this fight with him?
Well, actually, I'm quite sure he's a hungry fighter, just as I am, you know. I can't take nothing from him. and I'm quite sure he'll be taking them from me. But I will approach him as I do most of my opponents. I will fill him out the first round, and if I feel that he's weak, I will get very unique in beating. Yeah.
Womack in his corner awaits the bell. Raleigh Schwartz of the United States is the referee, and Rickey comes out in a hurry, chasing Johnson into the corner. Johnson running around this ring, trying to get away from the blows of Rickey Womack. Trying to counterpunch off the ropes. Rickey's got him all tied up, and down he goes. Johnson down in the early seconds of round 1. Takes the count of 8 from Raleigh Schwartz. Womack not bothering to feel Johnson out at all, coming right after him. Still off balance is Ken Johnson. Womack backing Johnson all the way around this ring in Reno. Goes to the body, then back to the head again. Has him in the corner, hits him a second time with the left hand on the way down to one knee. Raleigh Schwartz says no more. Ken Johnson is out of it 35 seconds into the first round. The referee stops the contest. A most impressive victory for Rickey Womack from Detroit, Michigan, and the Croc Boxing Gym. Womack destroying Johnson in round 1. And he really didn't give his man much of an opportunity. Johnson scarcely had time to catch his breath on the opening bell when Womack was all over him. This is the way Womack likes to box. Usually he opens it up a little later on than he did here. Johnson taken down for the first time just about 10 seconds into round number 1. Barely able to catch his breath and regather any sort of composure. He was forced to the corner where Rickey went after him once again. Womack with the stiff right, then the left as the man was down to one knee, wins it in round 1. Rickey, it looked like you had an appointment. You had somewhere to go. You wasted no time taking this man out.
No, I didn't take him kind of light, but I wanted to get him out there as quick as possible, but I didn't want to make a mistake and get hurt myself. But he's I'm quite sure he's hungry, but I'm dead game, and when you're dead game, you die. You know what I'm saying? And so therefore, I go for the gusto.
You look like you had a lot of gusto. You look fresh and really ready to go today.
Yeah, I was ready to jam, as always, and I'm looking forward to the Olympic trials and the Olympic Games. Hopefully I bring the United States back a gold medal in '84.
Congratulations, Rick.
All right, Don. Thank you. Hello, Mom.
The United States now increasing its lead to 8-2 over Great Britain and Canada. World heavyweight champion Willie DeWhitt coming right up. DeWhitt, the reigning world amateur heavyweight champion on the left from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, getting set to meet Henry Tillman here in the heavyweight bout of this dual boxing meet. Willie DeWhitt burst into prominence when he won a world championship in the spring. Then, against a very tough Cuban of the North Americans in Houston in September, Aurelio Toyo got him in a corner and had him exactly where he wanted him. Willie destroyed Toyo. I talked to him before today's bout.
What do you know about Henry Tillman, and what are your plans to deal with him today?
Well, I think he's the best heavyweight the Americans have right now, from what I've seen anyway. And, I haven't seen that many of them, but I think he's the best they've got. And he's a runner, like I said, and I feel like I'm going to have to cut the ring off him and, trying to get my combinations off on him. And I think if I can cut the ring off on him, I don't think he can stand a punch with me.
Henry Tillman from Los Angeles, California. You heard Willie display a great amount of respect for Tillman. Considers him perhaps to be the best U.S. amateur heavyweight. And that spot is very much wide open for the Americans with the Olympic Games coming up next year. Henry won the sports festival, the Pan Am Trials, then went on to get a silver medal in the Pan American Games in Caracas, Venezuela. Round 1 is underway. DeWhitt chose not to compete in those Pan Am Games. What Willie wants to do is cut the ring off for Henry Tillman. Tillman trying to avoid that, but DeWhitt, the aggressor, into the early seconds of round number 1. Hollywood stars recently came to Calgary, Canada to help raise money for DeWhitt's training program for the Olympic Games. Raised more than $61,000 recently on DeWhitt's behalf. Is coming off an eye injury about a month ago. Henry Tillman pounding the body of Willie DeWhitt, becoming a little more aggressive now as DeWhitt had backed him around the ring for the first 30 seconds. Two promising heavyweights hoping to make their respective Olympic teams for Los Angeles next summer. for a big man, Willie DeWhitt has very fast hands. Takes the right to Tillman after he lunged the right hand into Henry Tillman's body. Henry from Los Angeles, California is 23 years of age, 6'3", about the same height as Willie DeWhitt, a 22-year-old from Canada. DeWhitt measuring him with that jab he left in Henry's face, failing to connect with the right hand afterwards. Halfway in the first round now, scheduled for 3 in Reno, Nevada. The United States has a victory assured of this dual meet. Henry gets a good blow into the body of Willie DeWhitt, into the head. Certainly not intimidated by the presence of this world champion. This is where Henry does not want to be. In the corner or on the ropes. Oh, as he counterpunched, he took one. The referee, Tillman, gets stripped too. And he waves it is all over as he will attend to Henry Tillman, who actually gave a good account of himself against Willie DeWhitt for the 2 minutes of ring action that did take place. But as he furiously counterpunched off the ropes, he got zapped by the world amateur heavyweight champion, Willie DeWhitt. The ring doctor attending to Henry Tillman, he looks to be all right. That's the way DeWhitt does win many of his bouts. Either behind on points, struggling, he finally gets his man into a compromising situation. Here, trying to contain him on the ropes. Some good counterpunching by Henry Tillman in a vain attempt to get off those ropes. Then, boom, the right hand. It was all over for Henry Tillman at 2 minutes of round number 1. One more look at the blow by DeWhitt that ended this bout. As the referee, Alton, got all tangled up on the ropes, he went down alongside of Henry Tillman. Willie, it took you a while to cut the ring off against him. When you did, it was all over.
Yeah, I knew he was a fairly good mover. He had a good jab. He kept flicking it out there. When I'd move in, he'd throw that looping right hand, which was a good shot, but it was pretty wide, and I could pick it off most times. I was trying to work behind my jab. I think it was working for the first time in a while. And,
what better?
You know, be able to get me inside, but keeping him off balance. And I saw him dropping his jab, and I knew I'd get that right in there sometime.
Nice to come back and win like that after the eye injury. It's got to give you some confidence.
That's right. I don't have a cut this time. And I think that's due to the jab for one thing, and to another thing, I was keeping my hands up out there, and when I did get close, my hands were up close a lot of times. So I think that's something we got to work on a little bit more, but I think that's the answer.
All right, congratulations, Willie. Good win.
Okay, thank you, Don.
DeWhitt's victory makes the score of the United States 8, the combined team of Great Britain and Canada